everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Training Talk series by Chartered Accountants Ireland. My name is Sinead from the team, and I get to showcase some of our programs that we offer. And today I'm delighted because we are going to be talking about the Certificate in Sustainability, Strategy, Risk and Reporting. And we have a past program participant, Michael Costello, joining us. So, Michael, thank you so much for coming along and agreeing to share your experiences. First things first, how are you today?
Great, Sinead. Thanks for having me on. Delighted to be doing this.
So delighted to have the chance to talk to you, and maybe let's get to know you a little bit better. I'd love a bit of an introduction if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. I'm a chartered accountant. Delighted to say I work for BDO. I'm a partner in BDO, and I've been managing partner for the last 9 years until February. So I've recently changed roles, and I'm just an ordinary partner now.
Fantastic. Well, I'm delighted, as I say, that you've come along to share your experience on the program. So, what about we just get into the basics first? What did you make of the program in terms of its content? What was covered, Michael?
Content was it's a big area, right, for starters. So the more I look at sustainability and the whole area of sustainability for companies, the more there is. It gets more and more complex. So there's a lot to cover. So it first of all teaches you a bit about the jargon. So there's a whole language of acronyms to learn when you get into sustainability, and it helps you with some of that. So it gives you the basics and where it all comes from. So there's a background piece at the very start, an introduction. It then gets into strategy and how companies would go about setting sustainability strategy, and it explains some of the steps you need to take and some of the things you need to consider. Then it goes into some really sort of detailed areas like risk management and reporting, which are become quite complex and detailed. So there's everything from the basic introduction to the area right through to the regulation and the stuff that's coming down the track. So it covers a lot in just 4 modules, and I would say it's an area that needs quite a lot of study once you get into it. It's an area that dabbling is kind of dangerous, if you like.
Hugely topical subject area. And how did you study with us then, Michael? What way was the
Yeah,
program delivered?
it was online, which wouldn't be my preferred way to study historically. I would much prefer a classroom or face-to-face kind of learning. But I found this very engaging and well thought through as a program. There were long sessions, so the evening sessions were 3 hours, which is a lot in one go. And then there were, follow-up MCQs and learning logs, which forced you to engage, at a deeper level with the topic. First of all, to be able to do the MCQs, which can be quite tricky, as you know. They really do test the sort of subtleties of your understanding. And the learning log forces you then to apply that to yourself and to your organization, which is, again, another level of engagement with the topic.
And in terms of the assessment then, how was the program examined, Michael?
MCQs after every one. So there was a timetable which I put into my diary from the very start.
Okay.
In terms of not just the classes or the lectures which were online, but also the MCQ deadline and the learning log, which had to be completed usually within a week or so, or 2 weeks off the program date. So yeah, it's a big commitment but for a relatively short period of time.
And how did you find juggling at all?
I found that the 3-hour evening sessions difficult, locking away that time. It was flexible when it came to doing the assessment, and it was flexible in terms of the learning logs. That was fine. And the reading, pre-reading and stuff was okay, because that was at your own pace when it suited you. But the 3-hour session, I really wanted to do them live. They are recorded, so if you needed to not be at one live, you could be, but that's probably not the preference.
Yeah, no, it's great to keep on top of things, I suppose, and being disciplined and carving out that time is tricky. Real life happens.
Yeah.
You have the backup of the recording, great. And who do you think might find this beneficial? Obviously, you attended your good self, but who do you think the ideal candidate is?
Well, it's a big range of people, because I think it's going to affect people's careers at all levels now. So chartered accountants are going to be involved in sustainability, whether they like it or not. And they're going to be involved at all different levels, from setting strategies for companies, deciding how to deal with their own sustainability journey and strategy. They're going to be involved in reporting under the new regulations that are now coming out. They're going to be involved in providing assurance or auditing sustainability statements. So accountants are the natural people to implement some of these things. Carbon accounting is one particular specific need right now that companies need. So I think that if you are an accountant who is just recently qualified and wondering, how do you further your expertise and knowledge, it's worth considering. But if you're a C-suite director, CEO, CFO, I think you need to be educated in this space as well. And as I said at the start, it's not an area to dabble. You need to understand it at a quite a detailed level to be anyway credible in this space. So I would think you need to take on a formal education piece, which I think this takes at least the first part of that.
Brilliant. And in terms of maybe someone considering the program, Michael, what maybe would you say to them?
I would say that this is an area that when you peel back the layers, it gets more and more complex. And I was put off by that at the start, but don't be put off. I think you need to pretty fully immerse yourself in understanding the area, understanding the jargon, all the acronyms, where the overlap and where the gaps are in some of the regulations, how it's going to affect companies in Ireland. It's going to affect, every entity almost, down to quite small entities. It's going to, all government agencies and all sectors. You can think of sectors that are really are going to be very caught up in this, the likes of transport and real estate and, the extractive industries. But also lots of other industries are going to, even our own professional services industry is going to have a sustainability strategy and sustainability reporting. So there's almost no organization it's going to touch. And I think it is a very important skill, a necessary skill for accountants to add to their already wide skill set in dealing with financial reporting, financial accounting, and other matters.
Michael, well, what a note to wrap things up on. Today is intended to be a bit of an express chat to give a flavour of the certificate, and you have did just that. So thank you so much for coming along and sharing your experiences. We really appreciate it.
Delighted, and thanks for having me on, Sinead. Thank you.
Brilliant. And folks tuning in, you'll get more details in the caption of the next intake and of the programme. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks again, Michael.
Bye-bye.